Okay, yep, we're live.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the
Hello.
Team Have It All Hangout. We believe in having it all and not having to sacrifice yourself or parts of yourself to have everything that you desire. And we also believe that you can have all of your dreams come true with some work and having the right tools and the right strategies. So I am here today with the lovely Sandy Levesque, who is on our team. She's in France right now, and she is also a blogger for the Huffington Post. So she actually blogs. She has several blogs going on. She's had some $1,000 days I've been hearing about recently. So we'll talk about that as well and how she did it. And income disclaimer: we are definitely not promising that you are going to get that result or any result. And you can check out our income disclaimer at empowernetwork.com/income.php.
It's also at
So
the bottom of the page too.
yes, it's at the bottom of the page. So and by the way, whether or not you're in Empower Network, we have a lot of our team here. This stuff that we are sharing with you today, you can use in any business. Like, it's incredible. Sandy was just sharing with me before the hangout that there was a tarot reader who applied I think some of the strategies that we'll be sharing today. Sandy, don't you think so? Like the tarot.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she's now making six figures. So we are definitely going to be sharing some of the goods with you so that you can apply it to your blog, to your business right away. Or maybe you haven't even started blogging yet. You're kind of like, I'm not even sure if blogging is for me. Like, why blog? Like, why should I bother? Why should I bother to learn marketing? So we're gonna share that with you too. And then I'm also here with my partner, both in business and in life, Mr. Abram Gonzalez, and he is an amazing, amazing social media marketer and blogger, and together we have created over $200,000 with blogging and using the system that we're using. So I just want to, recap. I want to make sure that we're delivering what we promise here and that we stay focused so that, we're not just here. We could be here all day chatting it up, but I want to make sure that you guys, get everything that we put out there. So, and before we do that, guys, I would love to know who is on this hangout right now. Let me see your comments. Let me see your comments. Oh, I don't know if I can go, Abram, can I go to the page, or will that screw me up because
No, you should be good, but you
I
might
should,
wanna pause the video on the page, otherwise we'll start talking back to you
you'll
from like
start
20
talking
seconds
back to me.
ago.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're trying out this new chat feature, and I'd love to see. Okay, cool. Edward is here, Dennis is here, Andy, DJ is here, Nick, Manny, Nicole, Sunny. I always love having you guys. This is awesome. Okay, so what's interesting is it doesn't show all the people, but okay, it's cool. So let's see here. So this is what we're here for today. All right, so you may or may not know thousands of people start blogging every day with the intention to make money, but most fail to make enough for a cup of coffee, let alone the weekly grocery bills. Can we get a
That's true.
Got
That's
it.
true.
Yeah, right? And actually, Abram and I were broke bloggers before we started this system. We had blogged for over a year. We would like get excited and go on these adventures, like go for walks and like plot this epic blog that would go viral. And he would write it, sometimes I would write it, and we would like collaborate, and then one of us would edit it, and then we'd like make our own graphic for it. And at the end of the day, it was like, wow, we are giving so much. This is like a full-time job, and we're not actually monetizing it. And we don't know how. And even if we did, we don't want to be like these salesy people that now have like spam all over their blogs. So that was one of the issues that we had. But anyway, just some factoids for you analytical folks. And I think statistics can be kind of cool too. There are some studies in the UK, I believe the US as well, that have shown that 95% of bloggers make less than $15 a month. So
Oh.
that's
Yeah.
yeah, that's like
And
Uh,
half UK people. That's
yeah,
crazy.
it's crazy, right? And what's funny is I think sometimes when we go to other people's blogs, you know, and maybe it's your friend and they were like, please read my blog, and you're like, ooh, this isn't really that great, but you don't want to hurt that person's feelings. Or it's like easy to see, like sometimes it's easy to see like why this person isn't getting traffic and they're not getting enough eyeballs on it. But maybe there are some pieces missing for you that maybe you can spot and recognize today. So let's see the next piece. Okay, so here we go. Most bloggers, 95% in the world, are making $15 a month. And just on our team alone, which is just a few hundred people, we have team members having $1,000 days and beyond. Okay, so, and again, you know, income disclaimer: results are not typical because we choose not to be typical. You know, let's be real. We choose not to be average. And I did give you that income disclaimer, and again, it's below. So, what makes that difference? You know, you might be wondering, like, what makes the difference between like a blog that flops and a blog that has a buzz? So today, that's what we're going to show you. We're going to show you how to write a blog that creates buzz. So maybe you're like, well, what does buzz really mean? So to me, buzz is when it's happening. There's a magnetic energy to what you're doing. You have people, you know, coming back to your blogs. You wrote something so compelling and so inspiring or entertaining that people are like, I just, you know, I'm just going to check on, you know, Sandy's page or Abram's page because I can't stop thinking about them. You know, people are talking about you. People are sharing your stuff. The second thing we're going to go over is the art of getting your blog seen by more people. Now, some of this could be considered a science, and some, oh, you can't see me anymore.
I
Can
can't
you hear
see
me?
you. Can you see her?
No,
Sandy?
no, I was just wondering if it was me as well, but no, I can't.
Okay, let me see here.
I
Oh.
think maybe your camera got turned off.
Open capture. Is that working?
There you go.
There you are.
Okay.
Yay.
Yay.
Oh, thank God.
You know, like an alien speaking to us.
Yeah, right.
Well, and
Downloading
it had your face in the middle and like little rings going out every time you talked. It was like wah, 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 wah.
That's awesome. Maybe I should have just kept going that way. Well, you know, pattern interrupts are good, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and another pattern interrupt is if you were here last week on our last hangout, I had a Band-Aid over this spot because I had this enormous cold sore that was like, I looked like I had a fat lip. So now I took the Band-Aid off. So Tracy Stark, if you're watching, you get to finally, he was like, please show it to me. Like, I don't know why people were, so we were like, I still want to see that. They have that, like, you know, I want to see that pimple or something. And but here it is. This is the best it's looked, and it's like healing now. So this is just kind of the healing process. And I'm doing a cleanse. That's why I actually stayed. Part of why I stayed here instead of going to New Orleans was one, didn't find the doctor that we wanted, and then two, my health. So I'm on this intensive cleanse, and I actually found out this is part of the detox. So anyway, I'm sure you guys totally want to know about that. I know our team probably they're like, thanks for that info, Nikki. So anyway, what was I saying? Number two, the art of getting your blog seen by more people. You know, some of that's a science. You could say traffic is a science. Some of that is an art. You know, using social media. So it's not just, you know, your BFF or your few friends that did you a favor, and maybe your cat reading your blog. You know, like your cat just stares at the screen. And you know, I know that feeling too, and I also can just tell when I go to somebody's blog, and you know, maybe it's somebody that I know, and they've asked me to look at it. I don't have as much time to go and do that, but sometimes when I do, and I glance over, and I can just, it's almost like it's hiding behind a screen. You know, like there's a gift that each person, I think every person that even has the courage to blog and share themselves has a gift that the world needs. But if you, what is going on?
No, smile so I can take your picture.
What?
No warning.
Abram,
Oh, there we go. That's
wait, I was itching my nose.
No, we got a good one now. I just wanted to, put a picture on Facebook and stuff.
Oh,
and
okay.
Capture you in the moment, but I didn't know it would be so obtrusive.
Yeah,
You know?
it was like paparazzi, just
Yeah.
you're just like doing your thing, and that's like,
Literally over here.
stop it, Abram, stop it.
I'm really sorry to interrupt, but there you go. Continue,
I'm
continue.
deeply offended, but hopefully we can continue this. Wait, we're not allowed to have fun, are we? Because we're talking about blogging and writing, and it's very serious, and we need to get down to business now.
Right, right. Very serious.
Which actually leads me to a quote by the multimillionairess Marie Forleo.
Oh,
She says, "I believe you must bring your whole self to the business table if you want to thrive in today's game. This includes your personality, your spirituality, and most importantly, your sense of humor." Ooh. I also believe that marketing is the greatest money-making and world-changing skill on the planet, and everyone, from entrepreneurs to artists, corporate creatives, and nonprofit professionals, needs to learn it. Marie Forleo said it, just saying.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So anyway, let me see if I can get back on track since Abram just is obsessed with pictures of me. Okay, so hopefully you guys are finding this entertaining. I know I am. Okay, yeah, so it's like, how do you get more than just like a few peeps to read your blog? And like maybe you share it on Facebook and you get like 5 likes, 2 likes. And then you just give up after, a year. Some people less than that, but I know some people who just keep writing and writing. And then what, some people go, well, maybe it's just like more of like kind of my diary anyway. It's kind of sad. And yeah, I get sad when I see my friends that they're brilliant and they have these talents and it's just like not being seen. So the last but not least, I think maybe the most important thing is we're going to share 3 elements any blog needs to make money for you. And there's a hint, most blogs aren't doing this. So, Avram,
yes.
Unless you want to take another picture, I would love for you to talk about how to write blogs that buzz and like that celebrity like. And by the way, celebrity like status does not mean that you gotta be like Beyonce, that you have to be like 150,000 likes on your page. It means that you can have 150 to 450 friends. I mean, that's kind of small, but still, you can have, your friends on Facebook, but imagine if like at least 20% of your friends were like into what you were doing. You know what I'm saying? Like you weren't just like a spectator and a voyeur. Like people were like into your stuff and what you're doing.
Yeah.
You can talk about that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is probably one of the everything that we're going to talk about today is really important when it comes to actually creating an income with your blogs, and it's funny these conversations that we're going to have. I know that there's people watching that they're going to say, "Well, I already know that," but the problem with that kind of thought process, the whole "I already know that" thing, is, look, if you haven't earned $1,000 in a day, or if you haven't earned almost $250,000 blogging like Nikki and I have, then you don't already know it, right? You don't already know it. There's something, and I know that might ruffle some feathers, right? But it's like, look, we can always learn from and grow by the people that are teaching us stuff that even if it seems like we already know that, the really question is like, are you applying it? Right? Are you applying it? So what I would challenge you to do is if you're getting those I already know that moments, I would stop for a second and say, well, if I already know it, look, am I applying it? Like, am I already implementing this stuff? What you asked, Nikki, I think is really the foundation. By the way, I wish I was sitting next to you, where you could be like here with me. I already miss you. I already miss you. It's only been 8 hours. I already miss you. Oh my God. Oh.
Maybe we could take more pictures after the hangout.
Sandy can be your photographer. She's like, click, 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 click.
She can't harassment because she's in a different country.
Exactly. Well,
my tea.
Then you'll be good. You'll be good. Well, I think actually what you're watching right now is an example of great content. I think great content, and look, if you can't create great content, so that's why that's why I think it's good that we're starting by defining what great content is. If you can't create awesome, great, amazing content, there's no reason for people to come visit your blog or check out what you're doing, right? If you create like average content, that's not something that people are interested in. I was listening to a podcast on the way to the airport this morning, and this guy, I think it was Grant Cardone, right, the author of the 10X Rule. He was on a podcast, and he was describing, what it's like to be average. And he goes, okay, does anybody really want to be average? So relating this to content, does anybody really want to read like average content? He goes, think about it. Does anybody say, I just can't wait to go this Friday and go check out an average movie, some average acting, with an average plot line, eat some average popcorn. Like, no, right? To check out average. So what can you do to do something that's beyond average, right? Something that goes beyond just the monotony and the regular everyday stuff that people are so used to seeing in their lives, right? What can you do to make things extraordinary? And I think it really falls into three categories, right? When I think of creating content, I think of it in three categories. Can I educate you somehow? Right? People are always looking for like a how-to do things, right? You're here right now because you want to learn how to do something. Like create your first $1,000 online blogging, right? We're going to teach you what goes into this, right? That's what we're doing right now. So you come for education. That's a big reason you'll stick around. You also come to be entertained, right? Unless you don't have a heart, you've probably been laughing at least a few times with us, whether it's the cold sores, or the paparazzi snapping pictures of Nikki, you probably laughed a bit too, and that's entertainment. People show up for entertainment. It's one of the biggest industries on the planet. And then the final category, number three, I think, or the way I see it is inspiration. Can you create something that will inspire people? That's the reason why certain stuff goes so viral on YouTube. People watch a video, they have an emotional feeling or a response to something that they see, and then they're like super inspired and they pass the content along. Even better is when you can combine all three of those, right? Which I think is what we're doing with you today here on this Hangout. Is we're creating something that will not only entertain you, keep you on the edge of your seat. You don't know what's going to happen next, right? Maybe we'll snap your photo, come through your webcam. I don't know. Can we do that? But then also teach you something at the same time, and then also share with you stories, that will inspire you. So I think that's what it takes to create really great content. So if you break it down into those three things, well, if you're going to teach somebody how to do something, right, it's going to help if you've already done it yourself. So, there's a reason that it's me, Sandy, and Nikki on the panel today, right? Because if we're going to teach you how to create your first $1,000 through blogging, it would make sense that we've already done it, right? Everybody here, we've already done that. So now we know the skills. We've actually gone through the battlefield, so to speak, and we can actually teach you from experience, right? When you can teach from experience, you create a more powerful how-to message, right? So when you're going to teach somebody how to do something, you want to have already done it yourself, if possible. What were you going to say, Nikki?
I know you could, you might have gone to the next thing, and I just wanted to go back to that piece you were saying about average.
Yeah.
Just for a moment, what had occurred to me when you had spoken about, do you go and like look up a movie, like all the movies playing, and go, I'll just settle for an average one? No, you go through the roster, through the list of movies, and you're like, which one's going to be entertain me the most and like be the best and like all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Something weird just occurred to me that was like, okay, even if I called the movie theater and said, look, hey, if you don't want to spend the like $12, $14, you can see like one of the average movies for like $5. You know what I'm saying? I still wouldn't want to go see the average movie.
No, not at all.
And I think sometimes people also, there's a connection with that, like they almost like cheapen themselves or discount themselves. And that's kind of the energy that they put through into their blog, and then they also attract to them.
Oh, yeah.
You know
That's
what I mean?
deep. That's deep. We're already going deep.
I don't know why that, like, I had that flash of, like, getting a discount by the theater. Like, well, you can see, like, the crappier movie, you know, for like a cheap
Mhm.
price, and it's like
Mhm.
most people. I would bet that most people like, wait, you're telling me that it sucks? I don't even want to pay $5 for it.
Yeah,
You just have to pay me. You have to pay me to go and see that movie. You actually have
for
to
sure.
pay me.
Yeah.
For sure.
I
Well,
think
you bring up another. Were you gonna say something, Sandy? Go ahead.
Oh no, go for it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, Nikki, you reminded me when you were just talking about that too. It's like I know that there's people thinking, well, shit. Like, how do I create extraordinary content if I don't feel like extraordinary about me or my life? I mean, that's a really, really good question.
right.
And the best thing that I can offer is that you were born extraordinary. You were born where you are, how you are, the way that you look, whether you have a cold sore or not. I don't know if we're gonna live that down, Nikki. But you're unique. You have something different going on. You grew up in different circumstances. You've gone through different things. You have something special and unique to offer, and it's easy to forget that until you start sharing it with people on something like a blog or on a video like this. You forget that some of the things that you've gone through can actually create an impact on other people's lives when you share them. And so the best example I have for you is a lot of people here already know my story a bit in how I jumped on the internet in 2010 because I was feeling stuck in a rut, and I decided to get out of my comfort zone every single day and shoot videos like on my phone and on a little camera that I bought and put them on YouTube of me doing stuff every single day that I'd never done before. Right? Just doing something new every single day that I'd never done before. Nothing special, nothing crazy, nothing like, Hollywood by any means, right? Just little adventures with me. And it's like that was enough for people to actually go crazy over my videos. I would get people that would message me, let's say I was at home and I'm editing a video, it's like 10:30, 11:30 at night. I still haven't gotten today's video up. I would get messages from people on Facebook being like, Abram, are you okay? Like, didn't catch your video today. Did I miss it somewhere? Are you okay? Is it on the blog? But, like asking me questions because they had become raving fans. I wasn't, some motivational speaker,
Yeah.
right? I wasn't doing anything like crazy extraordinary, but I was just sharing from the heart and sharing what I was going through. And that is what really sticks out for people because most people are quiet and they don't share stuff you know and so when you do share something, you automatically go from being average to being extraordinary. So the act of you actually going and creating a blog itself, writing something even on Facebook and putting it out into the universe, already puts you as somebody that's just more than average, right? You start to step into extraordinary, and the more stuff that you put out, the more that you'll discover that what you have is actually valuable. And that's I think we could go on a whole other tangent of that. I know that Sandy would have a lot to add too about how her life has changed through blogging,
Yeah,
just by
actually,
sharing herself. Yeah.
yeah, like just something to add on to what you just said, Avram, that I think people will appreciate is I had a moment this week where I was like, oh my God, my videos are just creating magic because like yesterday, a big Zumba instructor, she's like a superstar in the Zumba world, watched one of my videos and sent me a message saying, "Oh my God, your video just changed my whole day. I'm going to go and do exactly what you said in it. Thank you so much." She personally messaged me, and when I saw her in my inbox, I was like, "Oh my God, she messaged me," and she didn't like comment on it on Facebook or anything. She just sent me this personal message. The day before that, the mother of an 8-year-old sent me a message saying another video that she'd shown it to her daughter who's being bullied at school, and it was a video about self-esteem, and that her daughter had like felt better afterwards, and she took the time to actually write and tell me that. And the day before that, a paraplegic man in France watched one of my videos about vision boards and wrote to me saying he's going to make a vision board now and asking like, should I put a picture of me walking or of someone else walking? And it's just amazing because what you said about you don't have to be a motivational speaker or a famous celebrity to touch people is so true. Because I remember when I was thinking about making self-esteem videos, I literally remember thinking, I'm not, Brené Brown or some of these amazing people that talk about that. So, and it felt like there's already so many people speaking about it. But in reality, you can relate much more to someone who's not a mega superstar sometimes than the mega superstar. And you'll touch people far more sometimes because of that. And people will tell you, and it's just it's such a beautiful thing. I'm so grateful for that because when you get messages like that, it literally it makes me cry a lot. I'm like, oh my God. So, yeah.
That's cool. And it's interesting, Sandy, because it's sort of, if I may say, it's just showing through your face, and like you're glowing because of that's part of the abundance of it all, is receiving that. And of course, we'll get, some people are like, well, how do I make money? We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But now you've been blogging consistently for, I don't know how long exactly, but what's your, like, over a year, I'm thinking?
How long have I been? About 15 months. Yeah.
15 months, right? And
Yeah.
now it's like you're starting to get this stuff every day, and I could actually see this continuing, where it is like every day you get to, like, have this heart opening, bursting into tears of gratitude experience, because
Yeah.
everything that you've put out, it's like while you're sleeping, all those videos are touching people's lives and changing people's lives. And it's starting to really, really come back to you in a huge way. And it's like the opportunities that you can get from that are so infinite and endless. It's like you said, well, first of all, I want to say what I got from both of you is be yourself. I think that's, as far as how to create that buzz, it's being your authentic self. I've been watching Marie Forleo today. She is a good example. She's definitely more of that celebrity status. I'm almost afraid of people watching her video and thinking, I have to do all this fancy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you watch, like, Abram's videos or Sandy's videos, like, there's none of that, like, fancy, like, we do it all ourselves, and you would be surprised by who is watching you. I mean, we've had people in our team who have been invited to be on, like, Fox News, because they did, like, I think the person that was invited to that special, she had only been blogging for, like, 2 months.
Yeah.
Dr. Shelley, right? She had only been blogging for 2 months, and she was contacted by this, I don't even know, it's like you don't even know how people find you, but they just do. Like, I don't know if it's a magical thing or what, sometimes, but yeah, like, we've had so many people that have had really cool experiences like that, and life-changing experiences. So, I was going to say Marie Forleo, like, a lot of people just kind of regard her as a great example of being yourself, because she's not afraid to be, like, super cheesy and look
Oh, right. Super cheesy, not afraid.
The other tip is, like, if you want to be entertaining, like, don't be afraid to look stupid. Like how I sit here and it's like, oh, like, I don't have any makeup on. It's like, that's the other thing, is, like, people, we're talking about blogging and video blogging. I think nowadays, wouldn't you say that it's more effective to, and maybe I'm making a generalization, but what do you guys think? Is it more effective to just write or incorporate videos? Do you think that everybody, no matter how much weird stuff they have going on, should incorporate videos? Abram's going, like, yeah.
Well, because I know Sandy has something to say about it, so I want her to say it.
Okay.
Oh, well, I do a mixture, but I definitely notice that the video blogs get more interest, more buzz.
More interest.
If people can see you, and they feel like they're chatting to a friend, which you can sometimes get that in a written blog. But if you look at, like, the Huffington Post, that used to be just text for many years, and now, like, 3/4 of their blogs is videos. They're doing Google Hangouts like we are. It's it reflects the trends, I think.
Well, imagine if we had taken all this information today, for those of you who are watching, and written it all down.
Yeah. How fun would that be?
You pages upon pages of, like, this kind of content. I don't think it would hold people's attention as much. And it is that piece that's, like, it creates so much rapport. Avram, come back to us.
Yeah, what's that? Sorry, it's Chad just showed up, and I just say, what's up, right? I told him, I said, dude, I have good news, I have bad news. Bad news is we don't have the suite anymore, because it was going to be just Nikki and I, right, in the suite, king bed. And I said, the bad news is we don't have the suite, but the good news is we have 2 beds now, so it's all good,
Oh, they didn't. Had one bed.
It was only going to be 1 bed at first, but Yeah, but the suites only have the king bed, so now we have the two. So the bromance won't go too far this weekend because now we have separate beds.
Good. I don't have to get jealous. I would feel very threatened by Chad. I mean, that is not cool.
No, yeah, well, I did honestly, I did miss the part of what Sandy said about the video and the and the written stuff too, and I think
I'm just
it's
finishing her thought that it helps create more rapport, and I've just noticed
yeah,
people feel when people feel, we're talking. Let's talk about money for a second and business. That whole you've heard of the whole know, like, and trust factor. So if people can see you, they already feel that they know you on some level. If they keep watching their videos, it's because they like you, and they already have more trust with you. So you already have much more of that warmer connection with them, and it's like, how much does it increase the possibility of when you do say, hey, well, would you like to buy my ebook, or would you like to buy this, or my coaching, that they'll actually buy it, versus like you're just writing all this stuff all the time and you never show up on video. It's not as personal.
sure,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. I mean, well, part of like if you look at the content that people check out the most on the internet these days, what is it? It's a lot of video stuff. So if you're not showing up on video, I think you're just kind of missing the boat. So I think we've given people just a ton of really great ideas and resources, and I can already see, like, in the comments. Hey, comment below. I see a few of you guys are participating in the chat. Some of you, I think, are just kind of hanging out. Let us know, like, is this valuable? Is this kind of like opening up your idea of what's possible with blogging? And really, I mean, is this making it simpler for you too? So I think a lot of people just have a lot of ideas that it's got to be this complicated thing, but it can be really simple.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, for our team, you guys, I know that you might, again, like Abram said, have that thing like, I've heard this before. Obviously, in Empower Network, if you want to join us, you can click the button. There's so many trainings. Edward Elliott is saying that the viral, is it the Viral Blogging Academy? He said is really helping him right now. I know the viral blogging videos are really helping this. So we already have a lot of training, in our system that kind of makes you an unstoppable blogger, I think.
Yeah.
So the technical stuff and all that, we're not going to go into that today. But sometimes, even for our team guys, I know you can watch a bunch of trainings and then all of a sudden you're like in your head and it's complicated. So I'd love to know from you guys, like, is there something that maybe you heard in a new way today? Or you're hearing in a new way today? And I just want to say really quick about Sandy. She had a speech impediment that she shared that actually got cleared through blogging, right, Sandy?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'd like for you to maybe talk about that for a little bit, but I just want to say, and I don't know if this would make it, I'm just going to say it, Sandy. So the thing I want to share with you guys is that when we shared this video that she made about it, and she was so vulnerable in that video. So we're talking about being yourself, right? And she was so vulnerable in this video, and she shared kind of some cuts of when she was still struggling speaking. And we actually shared it in a workshop that we taught in Miami in front of 600 plus people, and people were just crying, and she got a standing ovation for her YouTube video. So that really kind of, blew my mind, because, when we put a video out there, we just sort of imagine, what people sitting in their rooms and watching it, and it's very unique to show video to a live audience and see the effect it has, but to see that gives you such an idea of the effect that it actually has.
Yeah, it was such a magical moment. Actually, I'm so grateful to you guys for showing it, because, like, to have the experience of 600 people giving you a standing ovation, honestly, like, when I think about that moment, even now it makes me speechless because it was just so incredible, and it's a brilliant example that you can't see making videos and blogging in a totally linear way. Like, sometimes people think they'll start blogging or making videos and bam, that's going to happen, and bam, that will happen. But the universe is so big and so magical that totally crazy things can happen. Like, I never intended on making the video I made about my speech problem, In fact, as I made it, I wanted to delete it because the topic made me so emotional that I started crying as I made the video. And I distinctly remember thinking, oh my God, I should just stop and start again. But part of me thought, no, just keep going. And even after I said to my friend who filmed it, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I'm just going to delete it. And he was like, no, man, you've got to put it out there. Put it out there. And it took me about 2 weeks to do it. But that video has been watched over 2,000 times. It's inspired me to make other videos about self-esteem that are now being shown to children, you know, like that mother I shared earlier. And the funny thing is, like you mentioned Marie Forleo, Nikki, and it's so funny to hear you talk about her because when I first thought about making videos, it was her that inspired me. Because I remember watching her videos and I thought, there's no one doing this in French, and I wish, you know, and people need to see this. Like my Zumba students, I wish they could see this information. And so I started to make videos kind of inspired by her, but I would like, you know, spend 3 hours getting ready. I would block out a whole afternoon to make the video, edit it all night, you know, put loads of makeup on, make myself look really, you know, posh and perfect, and make the videos. And it was no fun at all. And it wasn't until like, working with Abram and yourself that I just began to let myself be myself. You know, I stopped putting all the makeup on. I stopped, you know, scripting it out, like doing 20 takes until there was no stuttering in the video. And those were the videos that people started to actually watch. You know, nobody really watched the perfect videos, ironically. So, and as the more I did that, the more my speech thing started to go away, and I didn't even need to edit it anymore. Whereas in the beginning, I was always editing stuff out because I just wanted it to be, you know, perfect. So.
Well, that's a very powerful point, and you know, this is the kind of stuff that some people might think is abstract, but it's actually very practical. To me, this is a very sort of practical, pragmatic mindset to have. You know, it's just knowing we know what works and what doesn't work. And the interesting thing that I think you're really speaking to is that, you know, we're saying how to create a buzz is to, you know, really be yourself. And that's talking about maybe you don't quite know the flavor of your blog yet, so you just start talking about something that you're interested in. Or, you know, like you love Zumba, so you've been doing these like Zumba dance classes. Or
Yeah.
maybe the challenge for you get creative, you know. I did this really fun video when I got my brand new Lexus, and I, you know, had been watching all these videos of people being like, boom, I made internet money, here's my car, you know, and it's cool, like, but I was like, that's same old, everybody's doing that. How can I stand above the average, right? So I made this video that was a value add that was actually like 7 steps that I took to get this dream car, and it was all the like mindset stuff and the visualization and all the different things that I did in order to have this white Lexus. And I was, you know, filming it while people were driving me. There were several cuts and several different scenarios and things like that. So it was more engaging for people. And I was getting like, emails from leaders in the industry and stuff like that. And like, you know, Chris Record, who I just think is awesome. He's one of the leaders in Empower, and he just does so many amazing marketing things. He was like, you know, he like loved the he like made a comment on the video, and he's like one of those guys that he's like go, like always busy doing stuff. And like for him to sit there through like an 8-minute video is like a big deal. And in his comment, I could tell he actually like watched the whole video. So I was like, this is awesome. So anyway, like I think what you're speaking to is like when you are trying to, there's nothing wrong with putting on makeup. But what space are you doing it from? Are you doing it because hey, there's women out there doing makeup blogs that are hot, you know?
Yeah.
Are you doing it from a place of fun, or are you doing it because you think that's how you should appear to the world and you want to portray this image? That's like you having to sort of cut off your, you know, finger and then, you know, cut off these parts of yourself to fit into the mold of what you think people want from you, which is not really what they want from you, you know, versus like you just being yourself. You can be showing different parts of yourself and have a persona, but it doesn't have, nothing has to really define you, you know. That's something Johnny Depp is actually pretty good at, isn't it?
Yeah, right. Swoon. Actually, something I wanted to add to that as well, Nikki, is that Zig Ziglar. I think it was him that said, the more you give people, the more the richer you become. I can't remember exactly how he phrased it, but I've really had a sense recently about that. Like how money is all around us, and the money that you're looking for. This is more like linking to what we're going to say in the third point, but still relevant now, I feel. When you realize there's money everywhere, and that each content you put out, whether it's a video or a blog, is like a piece of real estate on the internet. I really feel the more of myself I put out there, the more things I do that inspire or help or educate people, the more money is coming towards me. I can literally feel it. It's like every message I get from people, they might not be in my business, maybe they will be in the future, but I can feel it. Like it's like you can feel that you're sending out so many pieces of value that it's going to come back to you, and it is for all of us on this panel. So that's another thing to bear in mind, is that I didn't start with that in mind initially, but it's just so interesting to watch that the more you put out from the space of yourself, the more chances the universe has to bring back things to you.
Cool. Yeah, and I'm just checking in with our people here. Somebody said.
Well, really, really, really quick here too. Obviously Sandy's a pro at creating awesome content. And I just wanted to give her a plug here. If you guys are already on our team, you already know about the Beginner Bloggers Bootcamp that Sandy created that's available for everybody who joins even at the basic level, right? So if you're not with us yet, you can click the button below. Doesn't matter if you're joining, with one of us here on the panel or somebody that invited you here to a Team Have It All hangout, but you're going to get access to her Beginner Bloggers Bootcamp, so you never get stuck on creating content ever again. So I just want to put that plug out there for anybody that's like, well, I want to learn more, I want to know how to create better content. It's like we have some of this stuff readily available.
Yeah.
People who are with us and joining us right now, people who are clicking the button right now and joining us are going to get access to this instantly, right? You can get access to that right away. So just want to put that out there. Whatever else you're going to say next is totally cool.
Yeah, I was just reading this comment from Tracy Stark. He said he's getting, I guess it's hitting home for him that, you don't have to, like, keep the number low and people will watch. Don't do top 100 Russian novelists of all time. So he's really getting the point how we're saying, hey, you don't have to have celebrity status like somebody famous like Beyonce or even Marie Forleo. You don't have, it's funny, top 100 Russian novelists. That's
a really funny subject.
That just seems really random. I don't know, like, you might be able to actually do that. I don't know. You might have to learn Russian first. Maybe Tracy knows Russian. But yeah, it's like I think we tend to create whatever niche we're interested in. We'll look up who's like famous, and then we compare ourselves. And that's a huge part of this is letting go of that comparison, because the moment you compare yourself to somebody, you're in competition with them. Because in order to compare yourself, and when you get that down feeling after comparing yourself, you just made yourself wrong and them right. And it's like now you're trying to, like, most people will try to, like, subconsciously then make that person wrong to make them right. It creates like this whole internal conflict within yourself. So that's, for me, it's been a huge piece. Like, I'll look at people's stuff, but like I haven't even looked at Marie Forleo. Like, people have told me about Marie Forleo for like over a year, and I have not looked at her stuff because I knew that I wasn't in a place to really look at her stuff and maybe not compare myself. And now I look at her stuff, I'm like, okay, cool, I'm inspired by that. I might take that strategy, but I'm not gonna go, I guess I suck because Marie Forleo has a whole team and I don't, and like she's millionaires and I'm not there yet, and oh God, well, you know what, screw it, I'm not even gonna do it anyway. I think that's a lot of people like stop, like quit before they even get started with the comparison. So I want to go to the should we go to, can we just briefly go over how to get your blog seen by more people?
Yeah.
I think we touched on some of that, but specifically, I know that I can speak to like the title, but maybe Abram, we've talked a lot about like the title and the invitation. So it's like people will be like, here's my blog, and like, can you talk about that?
Yeah, I think that's a huge. I mean, if there's anything that you can get really good at doing in order to have more people checking out your content and checking out your blogs, it's learning how to write compelling, compelling copy. Right? What does that mean? Like, well, it means like when you scan down a newspaper. If you still read the newspaper, I don't know, right? But you scan down your newsfeed on Facebook. What's the stuff you're going to click on? Right? What's the stuff you're going to click on? You look at the title before you invest your time to watch a video, right? Take video for instance. You look at the video. What are the first two things you look at? You look at title, and then your eye goes down to the bottom right-hand side of the video, and you look at the time, right? And you're like, huh.
And Abram, hold on. I just want to say for our team, if you like, this is the point where I would love. I should have said this at the beginning, but right now this is super important for you guys, and like this is the moment where I would say put down your phones if you're texting your friend like, hey girl, I'm on this hangout with my mentors, but then because you're telling your friend that you're on this hangout learning cool shit, you're actually not learning it. So just put the phone down, pretty please, for yourself, not for me. I'm asking for yourself, giving a little boot camp butt kicking. I want to see more engagement, guys. I want to see some comments. Like there's over 20 people on this hangout, and there's like 3 people commenting, or half of them coming up. But you know what? Like that's why 90+% of people fail at making money blogging, because a lot of people are checked out. I'm just gonna be real. We could be sharing all the golden nuggets, but a lot of people are checked out. So if you even do yourself, make it a symbolic gesture to your business and your blog to participate in this hangout and be here right now with us, because we're here for you. So what if you could be here for you? Tracy's like, Nikki, you so crazy, go girl. I love Tracy, man. He cracks me up. I hope to meet you someday soon, Tracy. So where was I? I don't even know
Where was I?
Oh, I got so fierce. I just had to say that, Abram, because I know what you're gonna share is super important.
Yeah. Well, so like I was saying, the first 2 things you look at before you watch a video, you look at the title, then you look at the little number on the bottom right-hand side of the video, and you go, huh, 4.5 minutes. And you look back at the title and you go, is this gonna be worth my time or not? And if the title doesn't give me a good enough reason to watch it before even clicking the play button, I'm on to the next one. And you do this.
How long does it take you to decide that? 3 seconds?
A couple seconds, right?
Yep.
Couple seconds. The only thing that can help you, right? The only thing that can help you overcome that if you're really bad at writing titles. Well, there's a couple things, but here's the other thing. It's like if you're already well known within like a niche and you're broadcasting content out to like your people and your tribe, you could write a title that's subpar and people will still go check it out, or they'll still watch your video even if they're not really sure if it's gonna be worth their time. But if you're just getting started, you got to learn how to sell the click, man. So it's like if you're watching this and you're not getting the traffic that you want to your blog, or you're going to be just getting started today when you click the button below with us and you start a blog, write this down. Right? Write this down. Sell the click. Sell the click, right? Because if you don't give people a good enough reason, they're never going to click. They're never going to go check out your blog, right? When you say, check out my blog, I want to barf. I want to barf all over your blog, right? I don't even see your blog. I want to barf on your blog. Right? If I don't know you, I'm not gonna click on it. I don't give a dang, you know.
And you know what it is? You know why you want to barf on it? Because as a reader, and this is not to come down on you if you're doing this, you just have to. Here's the thing: if you're blogging, it's about the audience and you reaching the audience. It's not all about you. And when you say, "Here's my blog," like it makes it sound like it's all about you.
Hmm.
And it also appears as lazy.
It's lazy.
It's
It
lazy.
doesn't appear as lazy. It is lazy.
It is
Why
lazy.
why wouldn't you take the time to create a title or tell people like this
Yeah.
is what you're gonna learn? Check out my blog, right? That's when you can say check out my blog. Is
Right.
when you're telling somebody, look, this is what you're gonna get out of it. Check out my newest blog. Boom, link. Now you've got people. If I don't know what I'm going to learn, if I don't know that I'm going to be entertained, and if I don't know that I'm be inspired in some way, for what reason would I waste my time clicking on somebody else's link?
Well, and some people sit there meditating and they think if I just, pull magnetic energy from the universe, it doesn't matter what title I put, the right people will reach it. And that's just, and I know that might sound crazy, but I actually know people who think this way, and it's a very insane perspective that gets you nowhere, doesn't get profitable. You know what I'm saying? It's like Sandy's laughing because she knows people like that too, probably.
Build it and they will come. Write it and they will come.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It just doesn't work anymore. It just doesn't work anymore because there is so much content and stuff out there, So,
Information age.
Yeah.
like you were saying, Nikki, we can probably go over a million different strategies on how to get people to visit your blog, but we're not going to actually get into that, right? Why? Well, one of the reasons is if you join us and you're part of our team, we actually teach that stuff. The products that we sell, they teach that stuff. But this piece that we're talking about right now, if you can't nail this piece, nobody is ever going to see your stuff. I have a homework assignment, right? If you have like a thing about homework and you're like, I don't want to do homework, well, too bad. Call it what you want to call it, but here's something you should go do. Go to upworthy.com and start going and checking out the titles and the headlines that they're putting on their blog for the different articles. And look at which ones. Okay, you read something and you go, okay, does that make me want to read it? Yes or no? And then you break it apart. What part about this headline makes me want to go investigate and find out more? Are they asking a question? Are they introducing like bullet points? Like what is the part that makes you want to know more about it? And dissect all of that, because then you can do it in it's just so funny. It's so funny. He's moving a chair. But dissect it, and that's what you can model after when you create your own content and your own headlines, right? One of the best ways to learn is by checking out your own emotional responses and the stuff that makes you act by looking at what other people are doing.
And you're doing that anyway.
That's the biggest one.
Yeah. And Abram, it's like if you're a broke blogger, you're sitting there clicking on shit anyway. You know what I'm saying? You're just refreshing your Facebook, let's be real, and you're just like, what do I feel drawn to read? You're already doing your research. You just have to pay attention to what the research, like what you're actually doing, and you'll have like so many keys. And really quick, going back to the metaphor of movies, Abram, to your point of what we said earlier of the average movie, it's like if you want to think of selling the click as actually like your move, almost like a preview. And it's like, have you ever watched a preview and it's so crappy? You're like, I'm never gonna see this movie.
Or it tells you the whole story.
Yeah, or that's the thing. That's
That's
yeah. There's no curiosity, and you're like, okay, well, there's no point in me watching the movie because now I know the whole thing. And I used to do that all the time in my blog titles, so that's a really big thing. Like a second part to what you're saying.
Oh my God, seriously, you like read my mind, because I've seen like that where you're like, thank you, in 3 minutes I just saw everything that like it's like predictable, that it'll be some details filled in, but this is it, and you don't really want to see it. So it's like,
I think, Oh, well, just something that helped me get over that personally is everyone watching this, you have to unlearn everything you learned at school and at university or college about essays and writing, because when you write an essay, you just have to give it a factual title that just tells the marker what it's about. And when I first started writing blog posts, I realized I was doing that in the beginning, just kind of, that was the last thing I would do, write the title, and I'd give it like 20 seconds thought, and boom, put it out. And in fact, when you read a lot of popular bloggers, a lot of them say they spend half their time on the title. and then they start writing, or you know, that's like the biggest thing, like Abram was just saying earlier. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, and this translates into more than just blogging too. It's about communication. Do you want people, if you're selling something, anything, your services, let's say, you know, you're at a networking event, if you're not able to like communicate what you have in a way that speaks to the core desire of what the person is that you're talking to needs, they're not going to be interested in following up with you. They're not going to be interested in buying your services because you didn't give them enough of a cliffhanger or enough of a, you know, tidbit for them to come and investigate and find out more about what you have to offer, right? So it's more than just writing blogs. It's more than just about writing copy. It's about being a good communicator. You know, all this stuff plays out into so many different ways too. It's like if you're the kind of person that tells stories, and then you find that the people that you're telling stories to, like their eyes start glassing over, you know, and you can tell that they're like not really present anymore, and that happens to you a lot, right? There's a good chance like you're doing some of the stuff that we're talking about that like isn't compelling. It's not really drawing the other person into the conversation, so to speak. So just a few of my little thoughts on that too. It's like this goes so far beyond. If you can nail this part here and start with something as simple as blogging, you know, then you can do stuff like Nikki and I have done, gotten up on stage in front of 1,600 people and commanded an entire audience because we're able to tell stories well. We're able to invite the viewer in to feel like they're a part of the conversation and feel like they're going along for the ride with us. You know, that's what a good blog does for you, right? That's what a title can do for you. Is it can invite you in into your world, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love so you know, last but not least, like what are these elements that every single blog, whether you've joined us or you're joining us today with Empower, or you have another blog, what does every blog need? Three things that most blogs don't have. Abram, do you want to start with that or?
Well, I know that Sandy kind of helped us come up with the three things, so maybe she
Oh
could
yeah. Okay, cool.
dust
yeah,
on that, and we can just talk
sure.
about what it talks about.
Yeah, well, you basically want to have a way for people to become part of your tribe, you know, your community, because a lot of people blog and then you go to their blog and you can leave a comment, but that's kind of it. And I see this a lot because I'm in several different blogging groups as well as ours, but most of the other blogging groups, it's free blogs, and I know that these bloggers fall into that category of the less than $15 a month because there's no way of there's nothing to make people stick around or want to get emails from them. And so something that every blog needs to actually make money is some kind of, you know, it's called a lead magnet in jargon terms, but some kind of something that you would want that people will enter their email in to get it. You know, it could be a PDF report, or it could be an audio you did. It could be a video series, but something that you look at it and you're like, ah, yeah, I like this blog, I like this person. I could probably, you know, either learn something or be inspired or be entertained by this, like we were saying earlier. So some like a lead magnet, and then a way for people to actually enter their email. So a capture page. And this might seem really basic to some people, but you know, it's amazing to me personally how many people don't actually have this on their blog or aren't using a blogging system like the one we have that has that inbuilt into it. Because then once people enter their email, you can follow up with them and send them, you can even pre-write them so that these emails go out while you're sleeping or hiking or, you know, dancing, whatever you want to do. And being in communication with these people about what you do, the products you have or your services, but some kind of way where you can develop a relationship with them beyond the blog. Because if they're just coming to your blog and then going off again, you know, they're probably going to go and buy something from someone else when they probably would have liked to buy it from you if they're starting to like, know, and trust you.
That's a brilliant point, Sandy. I really love that. And you know, what do you think as far as creating this capture page and all that stuff on your own? Would you say that that is like a simple thing to do, or is something that people get, you know, caught up in and then they like never do it because it's kind of like annoying or tedious?
Well, definitely the second one, because I've been in that category. I remember when I first started thinking, okay, I would like to build my business online. And it was actually from watching Marie Forleo. It just seemed so complex that I never did anything about it. And it wasn't until I watched a webinar about that Avram and did about what we do, when the dots started to join, I was like, that would do it for me, so I wouldn't have to do all of this. And it just, there is so much technical stuff involved if you're doing it all on your own. I mean, you can do it. It's just, a long process, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you know what's...
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Abram.
Oh, I was just going to say, this one's really quick. One of the things I notice a lot of solopreneurs do, we came from like the life coaching space and failed miserably, right? But, what we notice a lot of people will do is they put on their website, they put opt-in to receive our weekly newsletter. And it's like, well, I mean, that's cool. I'm sure you get an opt-in every now and then, people wanting to join your email list, but A, like, I have no idea what's on your newsletter. Like, what am I going to get, when somebody gives you their email address, they're really putting like some trust and faith in you. So it's got to be a worthy exchange. They have to feel like they're getting something of value in exchange for providing you their personal information, right? You're getting access to their email inbox, and it's like, whether you realize it or not, that space is kind of sacred for people in a way, and they want to receive only certain stuff from certain people. Otherwise, they would just give their email away to everybody, but they don't do that. So what Sandy's really talking about is going a little bit beyond just the sign up for my newsletter and saying like, hey, like I got this free video for you that's going to teach you how to do this, or I've got a PDF that's going to teach you how to solve this problem that I know that you're having, right? It's like if you're writing a blog about self-esteem, right, you could create a lead magnet, right, or a series of videos or a PDF or something that teaches people like, hey, here's 5 easy ways that I've transformed my own personal self-esteem in the last, over the last year, right? People would opt in for that if they just read a blog or watched a video with you about self-esteem on your blog. They look over on the right-hand side and there's a thing that they can put their email address in to get more content from you. They're going to do it, right? They're going to do it, and that's going to up the number of people that want to be in contact with you. And I think you made a great point, Sandy. People come to a blog, they read it, it's great, but then life goes on. So they might forget about you or forget about where did I read that blog? I can't even remember anymore. But if they're on your email list, they're going to keep getting invited back over and over again because you're going to be creating more content and more awesome stuff for them to come in and enjoy.
So just to recap, most people don't have a capture page.
Yep.
Or a capture mechanism on their sometimes people put it on the side on their blog, and they don't send emails. So if you don't have a capture page, then you can't also continue the conversation. They're not continuing the conversation beyond the comments on the blogs, and that's where the real money is. Yeah. And then is there another sort of number 3 that I could say this is the other thing, Sandy?
Well, you got it. The lead magnet, the capture page, and then the follow-up with the products that you have to your services. And I just want to highlight that this made such a massive difference for me because I started blogging in 2007 as a campaigner and activist. And, I blogged, I was on and off. It wasn't as consistent as now, but it's only since I've applied exactly what we're talking about that I've started to have, $1,000 days and been able to actually have income from my blogs, because I would blog for the Huffington Post and the Guardian, a big British paper, but I didn't have my own email list. I was getting traffic to those sites. I wasn't building anything for myself. And everyone watching this, you have a right to build your own list, to build your own, empire on the internet. You have absolutely got the right to do that. And when you do, you'll just be mind blown by what possibilities are out there.
That's actually fascinating, and I think it goes back to the point we made about comparing yourself to a celebrity, because blogging on those 2 sites has such a perception of prestige, and then people associate that and think you must be rolling in it because you're writing for these big companies, these big websites. But without those things in place and those mechanisms in place, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to take you to a place where you can build for yourself and build your own empire.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't at all. And sorry, my dog was getting so pesky. I had to bring him on. yeah, you know, people would be like, "Oh wow, you blog for the Huffington Post and the Guardian," and and even now I have some friends, you know, they're being quoted by the New York Times or retweeted by people that have got millions of followers, but you know, they don't have a way to actually monetize it. And I think it's crazy because a lot of bloggers seem to think, well, I probably couldn't make any money from this, so I'm not even going to bother, you know, I'll just stay kind of average. And I really invite everyone watching this, you know, whether you're on our team or you're not yet, to just know that you can actually make this happen. You know, there is absolutely no reason why you cannot. And if you take in everything we've said, then you will do it.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Well, I wanted to share some of the, I forget if it was you that said it, Sandy, or Nikki that said it, about really like the fortune being in the follow-up. Just wanted to give you some examples of why this is so true. Nikki has her own example from a class that she launched a few years ago, that I helped her put together. But I have a class that I launched. I did like this social media class for people, teaching solopreneurs and coaches how to get their business out on the internet, and I sold it for $500. Right, $500. 44 people ended up buying this product within like a week or two. And this is how it kind of broke down, right? I did 2 webinars that I filled the room. I got like 100, 80, 90 people in each of the webinars. And the number of people that bought directly from the webinar, directly like within the time that I was doing it, was just a handful of people, right? It was like 8 or 12 people. So like 20 to 30% at the most. And then when I did the email follow-up over the next, week and a half, and running up to the time the class launched, is when I got the rest of the people choosing to join and sign up for the program. So it was people that were on the original webinar. They didn't make the decision to buy when they were there, right? But they ended up making the decision to buy later, right? After they got some new emails from me, after they got some new content that I was putting out through our email newsletter and stuff like that, right? They didn't make the decision right away. The same thing is true with like these Google Hangouts, right? We could do like 10, 12 of these perhaps, and somebody might have been watching us and watching us and watching us and watching us for months and months and months before they were like, you know what, I'm going to do this thing because I see that they started from nothing and they were able to do it. I'm going to be able to do the same exact thing too. Like, I'm clicking the button below, I'm getting in, I'm getting started. That's the kind of mentality that people have. The same thing is true like when we bring people in through our own little funnel, like on our blog, right? They click on the banner next to the blog, they put in their email address, and they watch a video, right? What's the video? The video is not only does it teach them 5 ways to earn an income on the internet, right, from our mentor, David Wood, right? He teaches them in this video, but it's also a sales video for the blogging product, right, for the Empower Network blogging system. Well, guess what happens? 1 out of 50, 1 out of 100, I don't know, people actually push the button and they buy when they first watch the video. But the magic isn't there. The magic is later, right? So, as time has progressed and Nikki and I have grown this business over the last 18 months, what we've started to notice is that it's more like instead of 1 out of 50 people buying on the front end, it ends up being like 1 out of 10 or 1 out of like every 8 people that puts their email in to the little capture page that we talked about will actually end up buying at some point down the line. We've had people that have been on our email list for over a year that are just now getting started, right? So the fortune really is in the follow-up. If you don't have that sort of follow-up, how much are you missing out on? You're missing out on a lot of stuff, If I didn't do any follow-up with that class that I was telling you about earlier, I would have made like 12 sales, about $6,000 with that class if there was no follow-up. But what happened instead? I was able to, hold on a second, I'll put some headphones in here, guys. I was able to, get like 44 people over $20,000 in a week and a half, right? So I'm going to put these headphones in because we got more stuff going on in here, but you guys had anything to add to that, go ahead.
Well, Abram, I'm wondering if you could share a little bit of the difference with the Empower blog and just any old free blog, and like what people would really get should they choose to just join us today.
Yeah. Well, I think it might be even better just to show people.
Okay.
what they get if I can load it up here. The internet's not like um,
Magic, internet magic.
yeah, yeah. But it's like, one of the things that people think is, oh, I gotta have a super sexy blog in order for it to be really good, and to make me money. And it's like, you know what? We've had some of the ugliest blogs in the past that have created huge results, right? And our current blog is, a pretty good example of that, right? So I just want to show you like what our what our current blog looks like, and this is the blog that honestly, helped us get started in a huge way. Let's see, can you guys see the blog right now?
Oh, now I do. I did for a second.
Yeah, yeah. Is it
Yeah.
good now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, so like this is the blog. You can customize the header and the picture and stuff that you get when you join the Empower Network and you click the button below. Right? This is what you get. You can customize the tabs and stuff up here. It's nothing crazy,
And there's also
but you
different
can
templates. There's some different.
there's a few different templates now, which is great, but it's like what's the purpose here? The purpose here is I have my content. I have the different categories and stuff that people can search through. And when you go down the page, what is it built to do? Well, there's a banner right here that takes them to, right, a capture page. This is already built into the blog for you, right? There's a banner on the side. There's a banner at the top of the page, right? It comes with a default one. You can change it. And then there's banners like at the bottom too. Like if you go to the bottom of the page, there's more banners. So what does this mean for somebody who's just getting started? Well, it means that this blog is built to make you money versus when you're just starting out on your own and you don't even know about this stuff. Your main job here is just to put content out, right? You put the content out and the blog is built to sell for you, right? They click on the banner, they go here, they put in their email address, right? And I'll just show you in my email address. This is how it works. And then what does it do? Boom, it takes me to another page, right? And on the page, it loads up a video, right? And this is the video that helps sell the products that we sell, right? So, what you can learn from this is whether you join us with Empower Network or not, if you're going to blog, you need a mechanism that's like this. You need like sales stuff that converts. You need capture pages. You need a blog that does this stuff for you, and it can be a lot, right? I'm going to switch it back since you guys have already seen, what's here. It can be a lot to do if you're just starting out on your own, right? All these different pieces. The technical stuff can get rather overbearing. Even now after having done this stuff for like over 3 years, we still have to hire people to do things that they think are really simple.
Right. Compatibility with plugins and all that stuff and
all sorts of stuff.
And so, having a blog like this allows you to, as well as the other products in Empower Network, let's be real, if you want to become, a 6-figure marketer, a 7-figure marketer, you need to be willing to invest in yourself, more than $25 to get that. So I'd like to be very transparent and just say that, like, we've invested a lot, not just the products, but, in, going to events and things like that to grow ourselves. So it's like you have a blog like that where those mechanisms are already created. For me, it's like a template that I have become accustomed to, and then it's inspired us to do other things. But at first, it's like you can just sort of focus on the content and the training to become a marketer. Like that's the skill you really need, is to be able to, write the copy, create compelling titles. All that stuff is like, I'm sorry, but if you're writing anyway and you don't want to bother, you want to make money, but you don't want to bother investing yourself in learning that stuff, then that's just, you're not an entrepreneur, you're a wantrepreneur.
Mm.
And maybe your friends are too nice to tell you that or something, like they're just like, oh, great blog, haha, but like if you really want to do what it takes, you got to be real with yourself. And like when I heard that term entrepreneur, I was like, that is so good. It's actually, I feel bad, I forgot his name.
Noah Kagan.
I didn't forget Noah Kagan. Yeah, he invented the status update and then started his own company. And he talks a lot about that, a entrepreneur. It's like that person. And hey, I've been there. in my life where, for example, I made everybody else the priority. I was giving away my time for free. I took 1 week of my life where I looked at what I was actually doing and just wrote it down. And I realized I spent 20 hours, 25 hours a week, 20 hours a week coaching my friends for free, my alcoholic friends, my bipolar friends, all these people that needed me, and I wasn't charging a penny for it. And the amount of time that I was actually putting into educating myself and doing my business was like not even an hour a day, so that wasn't, I was telling myself, I'm thinking I'm an entrepreneur, but no, I was being a wantrepreneur. So if I say you're being a entrepreneur, I'm not saying that's who you are, but maybe that's where you're functioning from. So be honest with yourself today. That's another challenge. Am I an entrepreneur or a wantrepreneur? And if I'm a wantrepreneur, am I willing to change it and become an entrepreneur? Because if you're an entrepreneur, you are willing to do whatever it takes to invest in yourself, in the education that will actually tell you how to make money. They didn't teach us that shit in school. I'm sorry to say, and it's like, I love, so many leaders have been saying this lately, and I'm just so excited. It's like, if you were to take a med student, a med student goes to his teacher after the first semester and they're like, I've spent 30 grand and I haven't made money yet. This is a scam. Like, the teacher would probably just kick him out of class or look at him like, you crazy. Like, do you need to go into the mental institution? You know what I'm saying? And like, same with lawyers. Like, there's people, Abram, you've spent $100,000 in education, and except for like your final years in business school and like the one entrepreneurship class, there was a lot of pointless shit that you learned that doesn't really apply to what you're doing right now. So it's like, what we would be teaching you in the system, in the products, is all stuff that is immediately applicable, can be applicable to you in making money. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I haven't found a better, marketing university out there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's the thing too. I think probably like one of the final points is like, so a lot of people are thinking, okay, well, I'm blogging already, but I don't have something. A lot of people, like, they blog and they do it because it's fun, but they don't actually have anything to sell, right? Like that's a big problem too, right?
Yeah.
Don't know what to sell, don't know how to monetize, don't have something to monetize. I mean, that's one of the coolest things about joining us with the Empower Network is you don't need a product to sell. We have the products to sell. Right, and if you want to earn, even bigger and bigger commissions, like if you want to do something like Sandy did last week, where she made $1,000 in a single day, right? Of course, income disclosure, you can check that out at the bottom of the page. Why was she able to do that? Well, because she owns one of the $1,000 products, and she's able to take that product and sell it to somebody who needs it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. So it doesn't matter if you have something to sell or not. What greater gift can you give to somebody than like the marketing education to put their gifts out into the world, right? Because without marketing, you can't reach the people that need your services, period, right? And the oldest form of marketing on the planet is word of mouth. You know what I mean? And when it comes down to like social media and the internet, it's like word of mouth on steroids. You notice how like you can go to like the family like Thanksgiving dinner or whatever it is, and everybody already knows what's been going on with you in the vacation that you took to Bora Bora or whatever, because you put it on Facebook and everybody already knows about it. It didn't take a phone call anymore because it's on your status update on Twitter, right? And that's the same thing that goes with business too. It's like everybody knows about the stuff instantly. It's word of mouth marketing, but it just has a different context to it now these days, right? And so you can leverage that when you join us. You can leverage the internet. We can teach you how to do these things. It doesn't matter whether you're selling the Empower Network products, or you're selling your own sort of coaching, or you're selling your own real estate, whatever it is, you need to learn the marketing skills, right? And blogging is a great way to do this, right, to reach the people that are looking for what you want. Because like Sandy said earlier, you can put virtual real estate out there that's working for you 24/7, 365 days a year in the form of a video or in the form of a blog, right, that somebody stumbles across on the internet. And it's like you're duplicating and cloning yourself. They say that cloning hasn't happened yet. Well, cloning has been going on for a while now since the internet happened, right? We've like cloned ourselves a bajillion times, and it's making a lot of really cool things possible. It's making it possible to earn an income from home. It's making it possible for you to earn an income from home part time. Like we don't sit around all day blogging by any means. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean?
We
That's what's cool
definitely don't.
about having a system in place is you don't have to spend all the time putting all the BS technology stuff together because it's already taken care of for you. That's the beauty of what's here, and I find it so funny when people join us and they're like, but it's so hard, and then it's like you haven't had to run through the trenches like we used to have to,
And it's
right?
hard, what, compared to like medical school or law school?
Yeah.
You know, it's a hell of a lot easier than any of those things, and you can actually make more money than a doctor or a lawyer. Like
Yeah.
that's the funny thing is, you know, we've seen doctors and lawyers at the Empower events because they're like, I need like 23 people a day, you know, working massive amounts of hours, long hours to be able to make six figures. I'm tired, you know.
Yeah.
These are educated people. And it's like, you know, with the economy right now, how are you doing? You know, it's like, do you want to be at the effect of it? Or do you want to create your own economy? And we talk about like creating your own empire. To me, this is like creating our own economy and actually shifting the paradigm on the planet of what's possible as far as solopreneurship, entrepreneurship, creating money in a way that, you know, just stretches beyond your imagination and touches people's lives every day. You know, and it's like there's a lot of sort of positive quotes about be you and change the world, and then we'll do a presentation like this, and some people like they miss the point. You know what I'm saying? It's like I bet if Gandhi was here today, he would be on Twitter.
I was just thinking that.
He would
And
be
that's
on.
what I want. Yeah. Oh, go on.
Oh, and I was gonna say, like, you know, going back to that entrepreneur piece, you know, um, entrepreneurs they always sit on the fence between yearning for their dreams and taking action, you know, but they kind of don't really go either way. And, you know, I just want to say if that hit home for you and you're ready to stop being an entrepreneur and you're like ready to make that demand to be an entrepreneur, a solopreneur for yourself, then click the button. There's a yellow button. It says click here to get started now. And we've got some awesome bonuses. We've got an amazing team. We have, I think, one of the least judgmental teams on the whole planet. There's an environment that's so encouraging, that inspires me every day. So we just have all this really cool stuff and amazing people. Um, or you can stay like wanting and thinking and mentally masturbating, you know, on what you'll never do. And you know, I'm so inspired by Marie today. You know, she's like, hey man, you know, you only get one shot at life. You might as well make it count. And you know, whether or not you will choose to become a professional blogger or you choose to come in and you go, wow, I started blogging and I realized I want to market this ebook and I want to create this and I want to create that. That's what our team is here for, is to really support the grandest expression of yourself. And that's when we have people with that sort of intention. It's like we brought Sandy in, you know, and she's overcome her speech impediment, which has opened up new possibilities and doorways in her life. We have a woman who talks a lot about sex and orgasms, and she was on TV, and now that's expanded her business. You know, we have all these people who have created a six-figure coaching business in a short amount of time because by coming in and maybe they thought, hey, I'm going to focus on blogging, but they actually learned this other skill that they applied to other places. So if you're in a place where, you know, you haven't totally stepped forward to create the life of your dreams and you're ready, you're just like, I'm sick of it, I'm sick of being sick of it, I'm tired of being tired of it, then just click the button. You know, it really is $25 to start. Get a peek into the back office. It's $19.95, I believe, if you want to become an affiliate and resell the products. The level that you want to play at is up to you.
Yep. Yep. And if you say that you want to make this thing like, you know, huge, you got to look at if your actions are really matching your actions and your choices really matching what you say. You know, because it's like you say you want to earn 10,000 a month, 15,000 a month. You want to go big. You want to go big. You want to escape this situation, or you want to, be able to afford the vacation you never could before. But you're not willing to like invest in yourself and buy the products and the services and the things that will help you become great, right? I heard a friend recently that said the only way that you can be good at selling is if you become a good customer first. Right, a good friend of mine said that. Right, you have to become a good customer. You have to be the kind of person that's like, you know what, I'm gonna buy this because I know it will be a contribution to my life. I'm not gonna like buy this and find a way to split it 6 ways with my friends. I'm not gonna buy it to see if I like it and then refund it. Like buying the dress and then taking it back after you went to the dance. Right, that's not being a good customer. Right, being a good customer is somebody who's like willing to buy something when they know it's going to be good for them. And to be that, right? So some people they're just not good customers. They want to like earn a bunch of money on the internet, and it's just not going to happen because they're not willing to invest. They're not willing to be good customers and actually invest. Or they have and they're like, I'm just going to tip my toe into the water and I'm just going to see if it works. And it's like, well, if you really want it to work, you have to show the universe that you believe it will work by putting your money where your mouth is.
Yeah.
And it's like you got to buy the products. You got to get started if you're not started. If you're already started and you're not getting where you want to go, you need to get all in, right? You just need to do it, right? If you say you want to go do these big crazy things, you need to be all in, mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually, everything has to be in alignment. And then you need to get to like the next event, right? Nikki and I went to an event last month, right? That's the reason that Nikki's not here right now, right? She's got some of her health stuff and all that, but there's a reason that 1 out of 2 of us is here right now. Right? Sandy's flying all the way from France next month to come to the Charlotte event. Right? There's people that had tickets to this event here in New Orleans, this life-changing event that I'm about to experience, and my roommate over here, Chad's going to go through it too, right? He's like, woohoo! The reason we're here is because it's going to change our lives. But there were so many people that when they were faced with actually getting here, they're like selling their tickets at the last minute. Right? Or they're bailing on their dream, right? They're bailing on their dream.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to a new member the other day. I was really struggling with some stuff. I was really struggling with some stuff, going through some resistance. And she asked me like, Abram, what do I need to do? And I'm like, you need to stop arguing for your limitations. Every time you have some sort of excuse come up, and it's great. Like, look, I understand. Sometimes you have tough situations and things that you go through. But if that's the thing that's in the way of you having your dream and you having the life that you came here to live, you can't afford to buy the excuses anymore. Buying them, literally, when somebody says the word buying, that you're buying your excuses, it's because it's costing you money. It's coming out of your wallet, right? I open it up, there's a bunch of receipts in here, right? It's not the actual money. It's costing you money. Every time you buy a receipt, it's costing you money. Oops, bought another excuse, costing me money. Bought another excuse, costing me money. Oh, that one, costing me money. You're literally missing out on your dreams, right? And I told this person that, and she got really mad. She got really, really mad. And it's okay, right? That's okay. Because I'm not here to like make friends. I'm here to facilitate a change for people that are willing to make the change, that are willing to get all in, make it happen, get to the events, and play at the level that they say that they're playing. If you have a dream to go big and you're not doing what it takes to go big, you are lying to yourself.
And that's called a entrepreneur.
There you go.
Yes.
So that being said, I mean that's all I had to say about the subject. I'm a little fired up about it because it's true. It's so true, man. It's so true. It's people are like, well, I'm struggling and I'm stuck and blah, 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 blah. It's like, well, have you been contributing to your business? Have you been putting the effort into creating your blogs? Have you been learning on a daily basis and applying the things that you've learned? Well, no, not really. I'm just kind of stuck on like, adding a new font to my blog. It's like, dude, stop. You actually have to create something and create movement for something to happen. If you're standing still, nothing can actually happen. right? That's why I'm proud of the people that make an effort to come to the events. They're like, you know what? I'm tired of being stuck. Right? I'm going to go hang out with people that are making a difference. I'm going to go hang out with Avram and Nikki and Sandy who are crushing it on the internet and making a full-time, part-time income, whatever. Right? Because that's what's important. If your dream matters big enough, you're going to make it happen. If not, you're just delusional about what your dreams are, and you are that entrepreneur. You got to be real with yourself sometimes. Some of you are entrepreneurs, and that's cool because we've all been. Everybody that's a successful entrepreneur now has been an entrepreneur at some other point in their life. Because I stood on the sidelines, when I was in college going to I had entrepreneur classes and stuff, and we made business plans on businesses that we were never going to launch. And we fantasized about the ideas of how it was all going to go together. And we were entrepreneurs. We had a dream, but we weren't willing to act on it. The moment that we were willing to act on it is the moment that we actually became an entrepreneur. We stepped in, and we started living our dreams.
Well, and Abram, I know when I was an entrepreneur, I felt really depressed. And I know you felt kind of depressed during some of those times too, like that stagnancy and like you just feel kind of, it's like, what if that stuckness is that sort of, the stuckness is the sitting on the fence, you're on the sidelines, you're watching everybody else play this game and get, somebody scores a point and they get this glory and you don't see yourself as a part of that, but it's like there's this whole playing field that's waiting for you. There's a spot for you and it's waiting for you to go and play,
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually more fun to create than to yearn. It's actually more fun to create than to yearn.
Yeah,
Well,
and something I want to just add as like the last point for me is,
yes, please do.
I think also a part of it is that, like, to me sometimes this world feels a lot like everyone's in this giant swimming pool and like you're just constantly treading water to survive, like everyone's just getting by in terms of money. And you're so used to it, your parents were doing it, their grandparents were doing it, and you're just hoping a big wave doesn't come along that makes you go under, like a big bill or something, or emergency expenses. And you get so used to just treading water that you kind of stop dreaming and stop really believing that you can have a boat, or even a yacht. And I was definitely in that mindset, and I'm just so grateful to what we have, because it's really in the last 15 months that I've started to actually dream big for myself, not just for the changes I want to see in the world, is to realize, oh, it's okay for me to want to have a nice home, to want to be able to wear nice clothes, to take care of my dog, to travel. It's okay to do that. And the massive world changers have been very wealthy too. You don't have to be broke and poor to care about the world. You can literally have it all. I didn't even plan that, but it just came out.
It just came out.
And just, I think the entrepreneur thing, sometimes it can come from you're so used to just treading water that you even forget almost that you can actually step out of that. And I think that's where it's so important to make sure that people you're in close contact with are people that have stepped out of that and that are on a boat or on a yacht. That's a bit, for me, been a huge thing with our team and being connected to you guys and to other leaders in Empower Network, is opening my horizons and seeing that these are real people. They're not just people in a magazine or people that I'm protesting against, as I used to a long time ago. So if you're treading water, just realize, you can get on a boat. It's fine.
Yeah, I love that. That is freaking awesome, Sandy. And it's like, I think what you just illuminated for me was how, we have this society of averageness, It's like this disease of average. The dis-ease, if you break down the word, the dis-ease of average. And I don't think that people are by nature average. I think we're taught to be that. So it actually takes courage and a choice and you could say a decision to go beyond that. It's like just choosing. You're actually not average. You're just acting like you are.
Right.
It's like you have this average costume, and you go around and you swim in it. You're talking about this metaphor of treading water, and some people might have like a little crappy donut, you know, that's half inflated, and but they're still have to work, and they're just hoping the thing doesn't pop, you know. And
Yeah.
you could be on a yacht, and now some people don't want to get on the yacht because they're afraid that the people who are treading are going to be mad at them, and that is going to happen, because what happens when you go after your dreams that way is then you upset people's excuses, you upset the illusion, you know, because we are living in this matrix of, you know, dis-ease of averageness, and when you go and you choose beyond that, it freaks people get upset, and that, you know, that's what we call haters, you know. And, you know, I'm just going to be real. That's something you have to be willing to go through. And, you just have to decide whether or not your dreams and what you desire is worth it. You know, what's more valuable to you? Being and pretending to be the average and fitting into that your entire rest of your life and your dream dying with you, or going beyond that and above that. And guess what happens on the other side of that? Yeah, you might go through some weird stuff, but you also start to shift your stratosphere of the people that you connect with, and all of a sudden you have these new connections. Because, you know, the cool thing is, because there's so few people percentage in the world creating wealth in their own economy, when they find each other, it's like, oh my god, another person creating their life beyond average, let's hang out. Like, it's so cool, you know. So and it's really fun. It's really fun, and you just get these juicy collaborations and power partnerships, and, you know, then you just like dominate the world with amazingness, you know. And that's how we change the world. You know, it's like Abram and I, poor hippies. I used to live in a cave. You know, he used to work at his dad's dry cleaner, and I realized at some point, the more money that I have, the more I can make a difference. You know, so I think, unless you guys want to add anything, I know we've kind of gone over what we usually do for a team call, especially. Um, but I'm ready to wrap it up.
Yep, and I just drank this whole water bottle. You guys watched me do it on the live stream, and now it's got to come out. So it's, you know, it's time to go, I think. So appreciate you guys for coming out and hanging out with us today, and thanks, Sandy, for tuning in all the way from France and sharing your wisdom with everybody. You know, comment below, comment on the Facebook group if you had a good time, and you appreciate what was shared today, and that you learned something special. And then the biggest gift that you can really give yourself and us here on the panel today is by going out and implementing the stuff that we talked about, right? When I see that somebody's you know, marketing is changing, you know, it makes me smile, right? That's what we love about Sandy so much, you know, is when she started, she was like super fresh and didn't really know much, but she was always like taking the advice and then implementing, like not tomorrow, not a week from now, but like now, today. She would implement like right away, and that always made me smile, and it always made me want to give more to her. And it's like, now look, right now she's earning up to $1,000 in a day by blogging, right? And so you can do that too, especially if you're here with us on the team already. If you're not, click the button below to join and just get started with us. We'll show you the way, we'll show you the path, and you can have it all too. So thanks everybody for coming out. Appreciate you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.